All right, what's up? Good morning. Happy Sunday, Heathens. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How y'all be? I am Sheena Butler, a.k.a. Sister Roots, a.k.a. your favorite root worker. You just don't know it yet. Your leading heathen, the Reverend Heathen, here at the House of Heathens Missionary Baptist Church. And we are back for another episode of Sunday School for Heathens, where we break typical Bible stories down, traditional Bible stories down. We interpret the traditional religious interpretation. We look at the traditional religious interpretation, and then I give you the metaphysical / esoteric meta. I was trying to flow through it without a stumble, but it's Mercury retrograde, baby, and it's been tearing my ass up. I hate to stumble over words, and all in my little social media videos, like it's the stuttering, that's Mercury retrograde at its finest, baby. This bitch coming in hot. Do you hear me? So it is what it is. I'm sorry. If I stumble with my words, please forgive me. Give me a little grace, okay? But I give you the metaphysical and esoteric interpretation of the same story, and it is where I show you in the Bible. Because we know that the Bible is a book of allegories, parables, analogies, examples, alliterations. We know, that it's not that serious. Okay, but if you was a heathen, that's what we in here to discuss. The heathenism, the heathenology, the heathen shit. Okay. But anyway, so thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscriptions. Please continue to do that. Please share the videos with other heathens, with other potential heathens, possible heathens. Just share. Just if you can, if it's on your heart, it will help further the ministry, further the watch hours, increase the engagement. We trying to get the gospel out, right? The heathen gospel. We got to go forth and be heathen disciples. Okay, that's what I am. Just a heathen disciple, spreading the good heathen word. Okay, so thank you guys for being here. We don't have any church announcements this morning. Again, we appreciate all of the tithes, offerings, and sacrificial givings. The pastor's love offerings. We appreciate what you send in, your donations, your energetic deposits as a gift of love to further the heathen word, to further the heathen ministry, to further the heathen movement. So if you ever feel so called to do so, if it ever gets placed on your heathen heart and you want to deposit a little love offering into the ministry, you can do so at $SISTAROOTZ, Sister Roots on Cash App. This is not me soliciting, because you know how y'all get. All right, so come on, let's get to it, because I don't want to be before you long. I know y'all got to go get your heathen brunch, your heathen cocktails, your heathen pre-rolls, okay? Smoking the devil's lettuce because you can't eat the America's lettuce. Y'all be careful, protect yourself. They always doing some shit, but don't get paranoid. Just don't eat no shit with lettuce. Don't order from nobody who got lettuce right now. They done put the major chains out there. I thought about doing a root room. On this channel we have the root room where if anything insane is going on outside in the public and it's a health related issue, I'll bring you in and discuss what's going on and tell you the best ways to protect yourself and all that. Right now, I'm not bothered enough to do that, which means you shouldn't be bothered enough. Just be smart and be safe, okay? If it gets ugly, I get out there and I give y'all a little information. But if I don't panic, you don't panic. That's what my ICU preceptor told me. Shout out to Mr. Odie Powell. Anyway, so let's go and get to it. Today, we have another fan favorite, okay? The ones that they like to use to church you real good, get you hyped up, get you moist in the Lord. To get the Christian coochie moist. They got to give you the right stories, the right foreplay, baby. To grease you up, to get you ready to prime you. Okay, everybody knows, a good lover knows that shit. 60% of the experience is the foreplay, amen? Because we know when we get to the top, the roller coaster is only going up. We know that it's the build. That's what the best theme parks have figured out. Give some praise for the build up, amen? Okay, let me get it together. Stop playing. Y'all. Stay focused. We is at church, okay? So we're going to talk about Daniel and the lions. Y'all be cutting up. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Y'all be cutting up so bad. Y'all be cutting up so bad, y'all. I come on here to try and teach y'all, and y'all be acting a fool. We is in church. I know all of the heathens up in Sunday school. We the same kids who used to get in trouble. The same children who used to get in trouble for cutting up in church, for talking too much, for not paying attention, for sleeping, for doing something other. Baby, listen. I used to have a book with me. My mom used to piss me off when she wouldn't let me bring a book in the church. I'm like, man, I already know what they're going to be talking about. But anyway, all right, heathens, get it together. All right, listen, so we're going to talk about Daniel and the lions then. All right, we all know this story. It's a good one. It's a classic. But let me tell you something. It's a couple of stories in the Bible. I'm telling you. I was like, man, like, y'all be on some... Y'all on some other shit for this. He always putting y'all in these precarious situations where y'all got to prove that you really rock with him. Like, damn, y'all ain't tired? Damn. Like, it's always something, bro. Motherfuckers getting thrown in furnaces and shit. We gonna talk about that one, too. Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro. Amen? That's gonna be next week's lesson. But listen up. So it's a couple of stories in the Bible. I was like, listen, man, like, I don't know if I would have passed that test. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean you finna put me in the lion's den? Yo, we can't do this no other way. Like, you don't wanna show them niggas real quick that you about it. I'm down here praying to you. Okay, but it's always some shit with Yahweh. He wants you to wall bang it out. He wants you to drop a body for him. Or he wants you to be in some wild ass shit so that you could call on him and ask him for his deliverance. But like Yahweh got a power king. That's a freak ass thing. The largest. Shout out to Big X the Plug. I fucks with Big X the Plug, but Big X the Plug is one of the reasons why we had to add Big Nigga to the EF5 list. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, we had to classify them. They're not EF5s, but we had to classify them. If you follow me and you know the nigga threat classification system, you know what I'm saying? Big X the Plug, when you get big men like that, with that type of ego, I'm telling you, the teddy bears is gone, baby. But anyway, all right, come on, focus, Sheena. Get it together. Help me, heathen Lord. Heathen Jesus. All right, so come on. So Daniel and the lions then was one of the situations where I'd be like, listen, I don't think we need to take it this far. I think this is a bit much. You know what I'm saying? I truly think there's other ways, that we can come to a good compromise that would benefit both of us. But we're talking about putting me in a lion's den, sir. A den of lions. Like, first of all, how y'all get them up? That's the real question. How y'all round them up? Like, what's wrong? See, that's the stuff you have to question when you read in the Bible. How did these men, these regular men, how y'all round them some lions and got them all together and tamed them enough to where, yeah, man, listen, anyway, okay. So let's get to the framework. The primary scripture for this story is Daniel 6. Okay? The central theme is that the story of Daniel in the lion's den teaches unwavering faith in God, despite opposition. Okay? Because we know Yahweh loves a good op. Loves some opposition. Okay? It demonstrates that obedience to God often requires courage, and that faithfulness is rewarded with divine protection. All right. The key question is traditionally, how do we remain faithful to God when our beliefs are challenged by the world around us? When shit gets ugly. How do you remain faithful? That's why people will tell you, you can't tell me, I know what God did for me. Because when I was at my lowest, we ain't gonna church yet. But he'll talk about how he pulled me up, how he pulled me out of the lion's den of life. But did he do that? Did Yahweh do that? Did God do that? Or did you do that? We're going to get to it, okay? Daniel is a Hebrew captive slave serving in the kingdom of Babylon. We are all familiar with Babylon, that term at least, okay? Because of his wisdom and integrity, Daniel is promoted by the king. King Darius, okay? He promotes him to a position of great authority. Now, mind you, the king was so impressed with Daniel. He was so impressed with his character, with who he was as a person, that he looked and said, man, listen, I like this. Okay? All right? Now, if we need to set the tone, if we need to give it characters, okay, let's do this. King Darius is going to be light-skinned. Because of the way he moved. You're going to see why I'm classifying him as light-skinned when we get to it, okay? So King Darius is going to be light-skinned. Let's think Shamar Moore, all right? It's only a few light-skinned niggas that we could really just, So notable light-skins, we automatically going with Shamar Moore. He's maintaining, his physique and his face the best right now. So that's what we're going to ride with, all right? So King Darius is Shamar Moore, all right? Daniel, let's see. Daniel. Who are we going to cast as Daniel in my Black Brain Bible? My Brain Black Bible. Black Brain Bible. Who's getting it? Who's getting the role? Let's see. Oh, y'all, I can't find a good one on this one. Let's go. Okay, let's go. What's his name? Darius McCrary. Eddie Winslow. Let's go there. Okay, so we got Shamar Moore as the king. We got Eddie Winslow. Not this. We got Eddie Winslow. We're not talking about Darius. That brother got issues. We ain't talking about him. We talk about Eddie Winslow, right? That we need that. That's who I want you in mind. Okay, so Shamar Moore from Young and the Restless, when he was on Young and the Restless, not Criminal Minds. Okay, we need Young and the Restless Shamar Moore with the rocks in the bottom of his mouth, the crooked teeth in the bottom. That's pre-teeth Shamar. Okay, that's who King Darius is. Daniel is Eddie Winslow. Okay, and then we got 3 other brothers that we need to cast. Give me a second. We're gonna get to them. So Shamar Moore, King Darius, is so impressed with Daniel, Eddie Winslow. Okay, he's so impressed with him that he promotes him to a position of great authority. Like they have a very good working relationship. You know what I'm saying? And he likes the way he moves. They work well as a team. Okay. Insert some hating ass knuckles. Because it's always going to be there. That's why, when they say new levels, new devils. Now, when I looked at that, that used to, first of all, that's a spell. That's a root. All right, so don't claim that. New levels, new devils, because you automatically insert chaos and opposition into your next step. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. All right? New levels, new opportunities to evolve. New levels, new opportunities to self-master. Okay? That's how I want you to look at that. But the term new levels, new devils can be looked at as it's the same devil. It's always the same devil. Always. It's just a different appearance. It's just taking a different shape. But it's always the same. It's always the same challenge. Remember, money, power, respect. That's the key to life. We talked about that like on Wednesday. Okay? So here we go. Insert jealous officials. 2. We're gonna get two hating knuckles. So we're gonna do. So with both of them gotta be light skinned. Both of them gotta be light skinned. I can't see. I can't give a dark skinned dude. Even though I do know some dark skinned haters. I know a lot of dark skinned male haters. I do. But in my Bible, in my brain, all of the haters are light. Okay, so we going Chris Brown, okay, and Drake. Those are the hate ass niggas. I don't care. Take it up with management. I am management. That I published this edition of the Bible, okay? So we got King Darius, Shamar Moore. We got Daniel, Eddie Winslow. And then we got the conspirators, the jealous, hating ass uncles. We got those as Chris Brown. What did I say? Chris Brown and Drake. Is that what I said? If I didn't, that's what it was going to be. All right, Chris Brown and Drake, okay? So jealous officials conspire against Daniel and convince the king to issue a decree that no one may pray to any god except the king for 30 days. Now, why was it this decree? Why did they make it this specifically? Why did they target prayer? Out of all of the things that they could have targeted, they targeted prayer. Why? Because that's what Daniel used. That's how Daniel moved. That's who Daniel was. He was a man who spoke to God. What's the best way to throw somebody off? What's the best way to interrupt somebody? What's the best way you take the thing that they use to keep themselves centered? You take the thing that they use to keep themselves grounded. That is how you beat somebody. That is how you con somebody. That is how you manipulate somebody. You want to know how all these motherfuckers getting over on you in your life? You got too much out there. You got too much out there. You got your titties out. They can see your titties. And they using them against you. Okay? You need to for some reason, you don't know your bra on. You're not on. Let me tell you something. We thank the Mother God for deliverance, okay? We thank, because I done been in a fight. I done been in a fight where I came where the titties came out. I gotta admit it. I was fighting my first ex-husband. It was what it was. It was what it was. We gonna get to it. Listen, titties are not. It is what it is. You know? And so it happened twice. I ain't gonna lie, it happened twice. 41-year-old Sheena, listen. 21-year-old Sheena was a wild, you talking about somebody had to learn how to tame that rage. And then to be, baby, can't nobody make you cut up like the motherfucker you done dropped some kids for. That's just the bottom line. Y'all can say what y'all want. There's a lot of bitches walking around here like, man, my baby daddy I could never be that upset about my baby daddy. My baby daddy could never work my nerves that bad. My baby daddy could never get me that bothered. Okay, but keep living. Keep living. Can't nobody make you cut up like a motherfucker you done dropped the seed for. Okay? And I dropped 4 of them. I put my, anyway, I put my power in, I wasn't responsible with my power, okay? So, I done been in situations where I done been in a fight and, other people have experienced getting to see my boobies, my girls. But it is what it is. At least they ain't ugly. Amen. All right. So all I'm saying is you have to be mindful because people see you long before you see you. When don't nobody believe in you more than the people who can't stand you. You hear me? Nobody has more faith in you than the people that hate you. You better hear what I'm saying. The people who love you, they love you. The people who believe in you, they believe in you. Okay? They know you can get it done. Okay? I mean, they believe that you can get it done. But see them haters, baby, don't nobody believe in you more than your haters. Why you think they so upset? They know you can get this shit done. This ain't about, see, when it comes to your haters, they don't believe nothing. They know what you can do. They know what you can do. Belief ain't necessary when you got a knowing. You understand me? Sit there, because we're going to circle back to that. But belief ain't necessary when you know what you know. And your haters, the people that hate you, the people that want to stop you, the people that want to see you fail, the reason why they want to see it so bad is because they know you can do it. They just don't want to see you do it, because then you'll prove them right about everything that they are not. Don't take that shit personally. Shout out to the 4 agreements. All right. So they knew that Daniel prayed 3 times a day to Yahweh. They knew that. So that's why they used the prayer decree against him. Okay. So they said it at a certain time. They knew Daniel prayed at a certain time. So the king passed the decree. Daniel was like, oh, wait, where did this come from? We never had this conversation before. Like, where did this come from? Like, you has this been bothering you? Like, now you feel like Drake. What did I miss? Okay. Like, what happened? Did you always felt like this? You know, man, help me understand, because there's nothing more baffling when you figure out that a motherfucker done turned on you. When you figure out that somebody that you got to look at and say, et tu, Brute, nigga, you too, Brutus? You too? You feel this way about me? You feel this way about my practices? You feel this way about the way I live my life? How come I didn't see this? So the king was like, listen, I was talking to Ron and them, and they said, I agree. I feel like y'all need to be a little more, typical light skin, nigga, fashion. Okay. I feel like y'all need to pay me a little bit more respect. Show me a little more, kindness for the things that I do. Cause they done went over there and gassed the king up. Gassed him up. Okay. So he talking big shit and he don't even realize that it ain't his words coming out of his own mouth. Cause that's another thing. People will hate you and spew venom towards you with the words of somebody else. Baby, don't ever talk to me with another person's words in your mouth. I remember I had to tell a woman that. Come and tell me something about what a man said. I said, you talking to me with his words in your mouth. You think I don't know him you think I don't know his words when I hear him? You know what I'm saying? Like, at least speak for yourself, bitch. At least think for yourself. You gonna let this nigga put his hand in your back and puppet you like a motherfucker ventriloquist? Bitch, stand up. Okay? But it is what it is, okay? So he said, so Daniel was like, all right. But Daniel already knew he was gonna pray. I'm not letting y'all change this. I'm like, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no nigga. Like, I like you and all, I respect you, but you ain't God. You ain't Yahweh. So what happened? They knew Daniel prayed at a certain time every day. And Daniel wasn't shy about it. He always went out and prayed on his balcony or whatever. And so at that very time when he was supposed to, like clockwork, Daniel came out and prayed. And here come the haters. Here come Chris Brown and Drake. And they was like, listen, lock them up. Nigga, we told you it wasn't going to be no praying. You going to pray to the king. And if you don't want to pray to him, that's your ass. Daniel said, fuck it. Let's rock. It is what it is. So he's arrested. And he's thrown into a den of lions. And this is where we get into our breakdowns, okay? So let's look at Daniel's faithfulness. What happens? Daniel refuses to stop praying despite the king's decree. Traditional meaning is that Daniel places obedience to God above obedience to human authority. And that is how they church you on a Sunday morning with this, okay? They talk about how you better stand strong. How you better know what you know that you know that you know that you know. Come on, baby. You better know that you know that you know what you know. If he did it before, he'll do it again. Come on. It started getting good. Same God right now. Same God back then. You got to trust. You got to believe that God going to take care of you. Okay? Now, the key principle here is faithfulness requires conviction, even when it comes at a personal cost, because you know that's how Yahweh want it. How much you want, baby? How bad do you want it? How much you willing to give? How do you want it? And how do you feel? Coming up. Come on. That's what Yahweh. That's what Yahweh say. Give it to me. Come on, give me that sweet, that gushy. Come on, baby. The way Yahweh be, listen, y'all got to follow Stacy Said It. Because when she do her impressions of Yahweh, y'all, listen, I be crying, you hear me? The way it matches up perfectly with the way he be playing with people in the text. All right, so make sure you follow Stacy Said It on TikTok. Beautiful black sister with locks, all right? The conspiracy. Jealous officials manipulate the king into signing a new law designed specifically to trap Daniel. Traditional meaning, the righteous often face opposition because of integrity and faithfulness. They singling you out because they see your light. They see the God in you. Key principle, living righteously may provoke resistance from others. Your light irritating them demons. That's my homegirl favorite saying. That's her favorite saying. You irritating them demons, bitch. Right? The lion's den. I keep rubbing my glasses on the mic. I'm sorry, y'all. The lion's den. What happens? Daniel is thrown into a den of lions as punishment. Now, let's get back to it. Where y'all getting these lions from? How did y'all wrangle them up and corral them all into the den? And why? Why? First and foremost, why is that why would you think about that? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, how long have men thought about different forms of punishment? You see how we introduce corruption, the way that we introduce callousness, the way that we introduce horrible consequences, like the scenarios, like it's like gore. It's like gory movies. The Bible is like a big ass gore, like gory movie. Because all of the bloodshed, all of the and the blood spatter and the theatrics behind the way that a person has to die. That's how you know white folks wrote that shit. You know that. You know that. Because the way that they love bloodshed. Like, why does it have to be like we don't sit and think about this? We don't sit and think about these things. Like firing squads, electric chairs, lethal injections. And now don't get me wrong. I don't believe in what is it? Death row. That's wasting too much money. That's wasting too much time. What y'all waiting for? I mean, I understand that you want to get your free labor out of them because that's what it is. But listen, one between the eyes, we can do that. Do that. Instant cremation. All this other stuff, we just dragging it out. Okay? But that's how it goes to show you that labor is the number one commodity in the USA. Anyway, so living righteously may provoke resistance from others. People will come after you because they see you before you see you. Okay? The lion's den, Daniel was thrown into a den of lions as punishment. That's what I was talking about. I'm sorry. The lion's den represents a place of danger, testing, and apparent hopelessness. Because we all get there in life, right? We all get there in life. If we don't learn how to lock in, if we don't find something to hold on to, you can find yourself in some very, 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 very questionable circumstances. Okay? The key principle here is God is present even in life's most threatening circumstances. Well, they say he's all knowing, all seeing, and all loving. But it's difficult to look at certain circumstances and see all three in one. Like, we looking for the wrong Trinity. Okay, because there's either he's all seeing and he's not all loving, whether he's all loving and not all knowing. Like it's got something got to give, because it don't line up. Okay, because why even allow, if you all seeing, all knowing, and why even allow for the conspirators to get the law passed, the decree passed? And then when they get it passed, why not pay a little visit to King Darius? Send him a prophet, an angel, something. Shit, you always got a messenger in the pocket somewhere. You couldn't pop one out over to him? Send him a little Instagram, a little holy Instagram. You know what I'm saying? To let him know, hey, listen, you can't do that. You can't do that. Gonna lay that down, my boy. They playing with you anyway. Get rid of them. You couldn't do that, Yahweh? That's all I'm saying. Like, why we got to get to the lion's den? Like, cause we know, like I said, he love a good build up. He love a good build up just so he could. It's edging. And I'm gonna leave that right there. The build up, but then I'm gonna save you just in the nick of time. I'm gonna teach you. Baby, listen. The biggest freak, okay? Anyway, divine deliverance. What happens? God sends an angel. Here we go. He found an angel. Now we got an angel. We couldn't get the angel long before all of these steps. Before we got to the lines, that we couldn't get no angel. But now that we in it, here come the angel. Because of course he's not gonna come himself. He always got somebody that's coming on his behalf, his representative. Man, bro. Okay, so he sends an angel down to the lion's den. I need to know how long Daniel was in that lion's den before the angel showed up. They don't talk about that. Only thing they say is he may not come when you want him, but he'll be there right on time. Come on, shout out to Sister Dottie. Okay, so the angel shows up and shuts the lion's mouth. Now I'm telling you, this was a story. When I was a kid, I was like, man, this one right here, this wild. This one right here is wild. Because what do you mean? Like, what do you mean I'm finna walk in here and they finna shut me up in here with all of these lions? And then, we had the Bibles, because if Brenda didn't buy nothing else, baby, she was gonna make sure we had Bibles, okay? So we had picture Bibles, all kinds of picture Bibles. It was too much for me to get the 5 CDs for 99 cents, but you ain't had no problem dropping bags on Bibles, But anyway, so the illustrations in the Bible, man, used to show Daniel surrounded by at least like 6 lions. I was like, man, listen, what you mean? You know how nervous I'd be. But see, that's how they church you. Because then they lie to you and tell you Daniel wasn't even scared. How y'all know? Did Daniel tell y'all he wasn't scared? Because it was never, and when I got older and I saw how creative they could get with the sermons, because some pastors will say that Daniel used the lions for a pillow. You see what I'm saying? Like, some will say that the lions actually came in and protected Daniel. It was a lot. But the whole question is, why are we here? Why the hell am I in the den? Because it could have stopped long before then. Okay? So traditional meaning is God protects those who remain faithful according to his will. Now, my thing is, again, Daniel wasn't doing nothing. He was being obedient. He was in God's will. He was not out of God's will. I see how they preach the story of Jonah. Okay, we see how they string disobedience and being outside of God's will into the story of Jonah and the well. But that's one we need to do too. But Daniel was not out of will. Daniel was right where he was supposed to be, doing right what he was supposed to do. He was not out of Yahweh's, God's will. So why the need for the test and the punishment? Why? Y'all was just bored? Like you could have struck down. You could have got rid of the conspirators easily. They could have been dead. You could have, baby. It could have been, a special tick or something that's crept into their tent at night. It could have been anything as creative as you like to get. If you could send bears to eat children, you could send a tick to stick a nigga, okay, and get them up out of there. But again, you love a show, all right. So the key principle in the traditional religious interpretation is that God's power is greater than any earthly threat. Whoop-de-doo. Because stop lying with me. Anyway, King Darius' response. So when the king recognizes God's power, when they came and got him, because then I remember a pastor said that King Darius was worried all night. Does the Bible say that? Let's ask Siri. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if the Bible say that King Darius was worried all night or if the pastors was just playing with us. Hold on.
He spent the night fasting, refused entertainment, and couldn't sleep because he was worried about Daniel's safety.
Okay.
That was from ChatGPT.
Okay.
Check important info for mistakes.
All right. So in Daniel 6, the Bible says King Darius was deeply troubled after Daniel was thrown into the lions. Then he spent the night fasting, refusing entertainment, and couldn't sleep because he was worried about Daniel's safety. Well, goddamn it, you was the king. At any given time, you could have stopped that shit. But because you was worried about impressing some other hating ass, that's how I know he was light skinned. Simple as that. It's too easy. It was too easy. He ain't even put up a fight. It was too easy. That's how I knew he was light skinned. Okay. So anyway, when they said the next morning he ran down and demanded that the stone, that the door be pulled back or pushed back or rolled away or however they was sealing off the damn lions. Then now how they make sure the lions ain't come out? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is stuff we gotta talk about. Like, when y'all open the door, did you just open it a crack enough so that the lions couldn't come out? Because if that's the case, then that's got to be some big ass boulders. And where y'all finding them boulders? You know what I'm saying? But it's just a lot. It's just a lot. But they said the king recognizes God's power and issues a decree, honoring the God of Daniel. Yahweh done it again. Because everything is always for his glory, right? I'm telling you, I'll never forget when my ex-husband said that. My second ex-husband said, we're only here for the glory of God. We don't have no life purpose. I said, oh, baby, that is a terrible point of view to be living from. And I was a Christian knowing that, quote unquote. But I knew that right there, that didn't resonate. You mean to tell me I'm in this motherfucker, get my ass toe up just so he could feel a little better about himself? Nah, it's something deeper. It's something deeper. That's why I say I started deconstructing long before I started deconstructing. Okay? Traditional meanings. Daniel's faith becomes a testimony to others. Because again, you always got to testify. I got a testimony. The Lord has been good to me. I got a testimony. I had a cousin who could tear it up. Shout out to my cousin Erica. I had an auntie that could tear that song out. Shout out to my cousin Lisa. I think my auntie Vivian used to sing it too. Fly High Auntie. I think she used to sing it too. But we had a few that, over the 20 years that I've been out here, they used to tear that one up. Okay? So, testimonies are everything. That's how you get recruits. You go tell them what God did for you. Tell them what the Lord did. Let me tell you what God did for me. You'll never get, I know what he did for me. A testimony is everything. Okay? Key principle, faithfulness has the power to influence those around us. Now, let's look at the metaphysical esoteric interpretation. Now, traditional perspective, the story reveals God's protection of his faithful servant during a time of persecution. Metaphysical perspective says the story also symbolizes the inner journey of maintaining spiritual truth while facing fear, doubt, and opposition. The key question in the metaphysical is, what if the lion's den represents the inner battles every person faces as they grow spiritually? That shifts the focus from external danger to the internal process of remaining centered within divine truth. Now, in this interpretation, Daniel represents the higher consciousness. He symbolizes faith, integrity, spiritual wisdom, divine alignment. He's your highest self, your Ori. That's who you are in this. That's what David, that's what Daniel, I don't know why I keep wanting to call David. But you are Daniel, and Daniel represents you as your highest self, your highest, your Ori, your highest place of alignment. Okay, you are in flow. All right, grounded. Daniel represents the awakened self that remains centered in truth regardless of external circumstances. You know what you know. Okay? The key principle here is true spiritual strength comes from unwavering alignment with divine wisdom. Wisdom is the base of strength. That's what people need to understand. Power is not the base of strength. Strength, capability, ability is not the foundation of strength. Wisdom is the foundation of strength. Because wisdom is what empowers you to operate and to properly utilize your strength in various areas of your life. Okay? Babylon represents the material world, worldly systems, the 3D, all right, the patriarchy, the cage of patriarchy, all right, the racism, the sexism, the capitalism, the consumerism. It's all of the isms, all of the things that pull on you and threaten to impede upon your existence every damn hour. Okay? It represents low external pressures, lower consciousness, those lower thoughts about yourself, those lower mindsets, those lower levels of consciousness where it's survival mode. The lowest level of consciousness and awareness is strictly survival mode. You are getting up every day and you are going to work, you are eating, you are maybe have a little playtime with your kids. If you have that, you come back home, you lay down, you wake up, you do it again tomorrow. And the only thing you care about is how you're going to make stuff happen from day to day. That is the lowest level of existence, of awareness, of consciousness. You don't think about it. You do what you're told. You adhere to the rules. You don't question anything. You don't challenge anything. You just, you right there in your box. You're in it. And 85% of people are okay with that. Blind, deaf, dumb, and mute. 85%. That is like, you got to keep in mind how big 85% is. Once you understand how big 85% is, you just, it really, really puts things in perspective with the way that you navigate this thing called life. Okay? And then material priorities, that shit that don't mean shit. The bags, the vacations, the social media posts, the big ass parties, the red bottoms, the jewels, the money spreads, the cars. It's all of the material possessions, all of that shit that they tell you that you need in order to be that, in order to get that, in order to say that you are that. It's all of that. Babylon represents the environment in which the soul learns to remain spiritually grounded despite worldly influences. Every day that you wake up, there's an opportunity for you to be a raggedy bastard, for you to not care about yourself or others. Every day that you wake up, every day there's something fighting for your attention, for you to not focus on self, for you to not focus on family, for you to not focus on love, for you to not focus on life. They pull our attention in every direction every 5 seconds. There's no opportunity unless you take it to choose you. Okay? Spiritual growth often occurs it does occur, not often. It occurs while living in the world, not apart from it. You get your lessons in the field. That's just the bottom line. You can study all you want. Baby, listen, you can listen to the audio books. You could do the visioning. You could do the mantras. You could do all of that. But I'm telling you, them real life lessons, you got to get in that field. You got to get on that court. You got to get in them trenches, baby. Life. You got to get out there and learn how to use your gifts. You got to get out there and learn how to stand on you. You got to get out there and learn how to remain centered. You got to get out there and learn how to always find yourself in the chaos. You got to know how to always be able to hear your own voice when the thunder is booming and the lightning is crashing. You got to always know how to go within and find God. You got to always know how to go within and find self. You got to always know how to be still and know that I am. I am. When you're reading that, that is a declaration. That is an invocation. I am. That's what I taught him in the Work in the Earth. Reserve your I ams and your I haves. I am is the most powerful invocation you have because you are getting ready to declare yourself something. When you open your mouth to say I am, you are officially invoking your God energy, your creator energy. So be careful with your I ams and your I haves. Okay? The jealous officials, they represent ego and negative thought patterns. They symbolize jealousy, fear, pride, inner conflict. All of the things that you wrestle with on the inside, the things that you end up taking the antidepressants for, the things that you end up taking the anti-anxiolytics for, the things that you end up needing the sleep medication for. It's all of the things that are dying for you to recognize them. And for you to organize them and for you to prioritize them. It's all the pieces of you that you can't get away from. Okay? Jealousy, fear, pride, inner conflict. Jealousy, fear, pride, inner conflict. Jealousy, fear, pride, inner conflict. Okay. The metaphysical meaning, the officials represent the thoughts and emotions that oppose spiritual growth and attempt to silence higher consciousness. It's all the things that tell you, that give you all of the reasons why you should quit, why you shouldn't do it, why you shouldn't move. It's all of the things that come to steal, kill, and destroy. It's the devil. It's the devil because it comes to steal your confidence. It comes to kill your motion, and it comes to destroy your evolution. That is what stops you from being your highest self, who you need to be with, who you need to be, what energy you need to be operating in order to get where you need to be. And I'm not talking about getting where you need to be as far as a job or a house or a degree or anything. I'm talking about getting who you need to be as a person, getting to who you need to be as a person, getting back to you. Remember, the journey is to remember. All right? The key principle here, inner resistance often appears before spiritual breakthrough. When you feel that fear, babes, when you feel that, when you got the bubble guts, when you got the anxiety, listen, do it anyway. Do it anyway. That is such a great indicator that you are getting ready to break a wall. Because your ego is fighting like hell to stay the same. Go, push past it, barrel past it. Don't listen. Don't listen. Because when you crash through on the other side, get what you need, babes. Get what you need. Just barrel through. It's okay. It's like on an action movie where a person needs to get into a room and the only way that they can get in is to crash through a big ass window. I used to always be like, man, especially, if you run into a window, if you run into like a large glass, if you run into something, you know how hard windows are and glass is. That shit hurt. If you ever punch through a glass, I did that. You know how hard glass is. So I'm just thinking like, man, if somebody got to run and crash into a glass, I mean, they really trying to get it. They need to be in there, or they got to get out of there. It's either you either crash in the window to get in, or you crash in the window to get out. But crash that motherfucker, okay? Go for it. Do not be afraid. There is no other outcome but the best outcome for you. That's what I tell myself every day. Every time I'm feeling nervous, there is no other outcome but the best outcome. You got to know that. And you know that by standing on you, because you know I've done this before. I've been here before. I've seen this before. And I've picked myself up before. The metaphysical meaning is, no, I'm sorry. Let's look at the prayer that Daniel refused to not do. Prayer equals divine. It's equivalent to divine alignment. Okay, I always say prayer is speaking to the outer manifestation of God. Meditation is speaking to the inner manifestation of God. But it's all around you. There's no way. Now, if you want to speak to it in the form of another deity, if you want to speak to it in the form of nature, if you want to speak to it in the form of nature, and that's pretty much what, all it is. But there's many different ways that you can speak to God, to the presence, to the divine intelligence that is God. Getting in the water, sound therapy, like immersing yourself in God. Why do you think you feel so much better when you come out of the water? Okay. So prayer symbolizes connection with God, meditation. Again, we just talked about that. Inner communion, because you must learn how to commune with self. You have got to learn how to sit and commune with self. The same way in the Bible where it says that they said, do this in remembrance of me. Your communion with yourself is to remember you. This do in remembrance of me. So whatever it is that you need to do to remember you, do it. I take this 30 minutes in the morning with my teacup and my nature sounds. This do in remembrance of me. I take 15 minutes to do a body scan at night while I'm laying in the bed before I fall asleep. This do in remembrance of me. I submerge myself in spiritual baths to bless myself and to cleanse my energy and purify my core. This do in remembrance of me. Remember, you are the religion. You are the ritual. You are the practice. That's what we talked about in Working the Roots. Listen, the playback is available. Get it. Get it. It's $99 for the public. It's $75 for UUC members. But get the playback. You need to know what to do in remembrance of you. The whole journey is to remember you, to come back to self, to obtain knowledge of self. You are the Bible. You are the sacrifice. You are the temple. You are the God. You are the altar. You are everything. Okay? The metaphysical meaning is Daniel's consistent prayer represents maintaining alignment with divine consciousness regardless of external pressure. Again, always knowing how to find you, how to find God in the center. Remember, seek ye first the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is within. So if you got to go within to seek the kingdom, you got to go within to seek God. It's right there in our faces, and they just won't let you see it. Key principle: daily spiritual practice strengthens the soul before adversity comes. Your walks are spiritual. Your runs are spiritual. Your workouts are spiritual. Treat them as such. No shade, but I hate to see people on the phone when they working out. Like talking to somebody. I hate to see that. Even when they walking, because I feel like exercise time is holy time. You trying to connect with self. Why you got somebody else in your ear? Like, this is the time between you and you. This is time for you. So that always bothers me. But I understand, people need motivation and they need people to be along with them. And sometimes people won't do anything. To me, I just feel like when I see people doing that, I feel like you have a problem with connecting with self. And I feel like you have a problem with sitting with silence or sitting with self or just sitting and focusing. It's like you have to be distracted by something else. But again, those times where you are working on you is a call to self, and it's not a conference call. It is a conference call between you, yourself, and you. All right. And so you need those daily spiritual practices to build yourself up for when things get a little wavy out there, a little rocky out there, when the waters and the waves increase. If you got the practices down pat and you've been studying yourself, you prepare. You know what to do. You know how to stay grounded. You know when shit get ugly. Okay, I need to do my deep breathing. I need to keep my diet clean around this time because that helps me focus. Listen, when I'm fasting, when my diet is clean, that's when I'm the clearest. That's when the downloads are coming. That's when the knowledge is coming through, the wisdom. That's when the gifts are crystal clear. But if I get on some dumb shit, if I get on some low shit, if I get on some bullshit, it's hard. It's hard to hear. It's hard to find self because also food carries a vibration. And the majority of the food that we consume lowers your vibration. That's why a lot of y'all can't manifest. You can't manifest when you full of shit, literally. Okay. The lion's den equals fear and inner challenges. It equates to fear and inner challenges. Again, it symbolizes fear, anxiety, doubt, anger, temptation, and life's overwhelming circumstances. Shit got real. It's all of the things to look around and be like, holy shit, help me. Help. Okay. I am in trouble. The lions represent the inner forces that seek to consume your peace, faith, and spiritual confidence. It's the noise. It's the noise. The key principle is that fear loses its power when consciousness remains anchored in truth. That's why you got to get your heathen word. Especially for people who are fairly new on the deconstruction journey, like Christianity, post-Christianity stress syndrome, that's a real thing. PTSD linked to religious programming and indoctrination, that's a real thing. Dr. Vanessa Brooks, she got her doctorate in that. And I think she's one of the first Black women to do that, or maybe the only Black woman to do that. So if you follow her. She got a whole degree in deconstructing. Okay? So you will get scared. You will get triggered. Things start going wrong. You think, oh, is it because? That's the first thought. That's fear. That's fear. The first thought is always, oh, is it because? No. Any thought that comes up that seeks to scare you, that is an intrusive thought. It's not intuition. But that is usually what runs people back to religion. It runs them back to the church. Fear is a mob, baby. That's a funky bunch. You hear me? It do get scary out here. It does. But you got to know what you know. When you find yourself feeling some type of way about possibly not being in religion anymore, or not reading the Bible, or not praying like you should, remember what you were doing was a performance. Remember your facts. Remember your knowledge. Go back to the beginning of Sunday School for Heathen, where I told you how you got the religion that you got. The way that you practiced it, the how you were told to practice it, the way that you practiced it. You know? And my thing is, some people deconstruct and still go back to religion because it's used for a comfort, it's used for a community. But most people, deconstruction is hard. I won't take that from anybody, especially when it's been your whole life. But see, I'm of the opinion that truth is gonna always stand. So even if I stray away from it, and I ain't even gonna say stray away, even if I choose to go explore its origins, explore its counterparts, explore its parallels, then if it's true, it's gonna lead me right back to it, right? Point A. I know it's something in math or science or something that says if you start at point A, you're going to always end up back at point A. I know it's something out there. I don't know what it is because I don't, that ain't my forte. My purview. It's not my purview, but I'm sure somebody can say it's some kind of physics law or something out there that point A going to always be point A. So if it's true, it will always stand. And you got to know that. All right. The angel symbolizes divine presence. It symbolizes higher guidance, protection, divine intervention, that spirit team, them ancestors, your highest self protecting you, your protection work, inner peace. The metaphysical meaning is that the angel represents the presence of divine consciousness that quiets fear and preserves inner peace. It's your ability to go within and know, to still thyself, to calm thyself. It's when Jesus came out on the boat and rebuked the storm. It's when you rebuke the storms of inner turmoil. It's when you silence the inner noise, and you do that by grounding, by breath work, by meditation, by stopping and slowing down, by going to get in the water, by creating, by painting, by singing, by dancing. It's nothing more than energy in motion. That's all it is. You're not supposed to fear it. You're supposed to reconcile it. Okay? The angel represents, okay, I said that apart already. Key principle, divine protection often appears as inner strength rather than an absence of difficulty, because it's going to always be something. It's going to always be something. But you just got to know that you are right, no matter what. Sometimes it'll be something very, very small, very, very minute, a light irritation, a mosquito bite. And then other times it's a big ass, gaping, ugly ass wound. But you got to know that no matter what, you're going to be all right. The lion's mouth being closed symbolizes victory over fear, mastery of emotion, mastery of self, and inner peace. Ashe, baby. The lions are not removed, they are restrained. Okay? The circumstances remain. That's the metaphysical interpretation. The circumstances remain, but they no longer have power over your consciousness. So the key principle is spiritual maturity is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of peace within them. The situation does not change. You change. And because you change, you learn how to handle the situation. You find a better way to address the situation, but you have to change. Your external will always be and simply be a reflection of your internal. If you don't like what the external is looking like, check your internal. And then Daniel's deliverance symbolizes spiritual victory, faith, overcoming fear, divine protection, higher consciousness. Metaphysical meaning, deliverance represents emerging from life's challenges with greater wisdom, faith, and spiritual maturity. And the key principle here is every trial has the potential to strengthen consciousness. Everything that you go through, every lion's den, every dark night of the soul, every jealous conspirator, every weak-ass leader who is supposed to, protect you but gives way to ego and fear, all of that, all of those are nothing more than teachers. Express gratitude for your teachers, because they bring you the greatest lessons, the lessons that your soul needs to evolve. Happy Sunday, Heathens. Have a good one.